Hit it before you get it, girl. Are we,
I thought it was lick it before you stick it.
It is, but you said hit it, so I had to come up with something.
Ow.
You know what I'm saying?
We should do a podcast. What do you think?
I'm Jae.
I'm Adrienne.
And together we are the
Two
Crazy Cat Ladies. I'm gonna cut you.
I think I just peed.
Buckle up.
We're back in the closet.
Welcome to episode number 0006 of Back in the Closet with the Two Crazy Cat Ladies.
Y'all.
I'm Jae.
I'm Adrienne.
And together we are the Two Crazy Cat Ladies. You guys already heard that once on the intro, and we're sorry for repeating it, but today's a great day.
Today, can I say why today is a great day first and foremost? Because it is truly such a fantastic day.
Yes.
Today was a fallback day.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm a fan of this daylight savings thing in general, but I do have to say that when we get to fall back, gain an hour, it's like a whole new world.
A dazzling place I never knew. But now from way up here, it's crystal clear. It is, yeah. No, it was great, and I'd like to say also that I got up this morning and had dinner made from scratch, not like throwing a bunch of cans together or making some, like some.
Can I give context to this though?
Before 8 a.m.
Right.
Before 8 a.m.
So if you guys didn't know this, Jae is one of those outrageous morning people. She's very excited about morning time, even when it's dark and cold outside. I don't know what kind of chemistry is going on, what kind of imbalance is happening.
That's about my favorite time. When it's cold outside is my favorite time to cook.
Brain, but I barely had one eye open, let alone two, when she's explaining this beautiful idea that she has for making this incredible way to salvage all the vegetables that are about to go bad in our fridge. Have you guys ever had that happen where you go and get a bunch of fresh produce and then you think you're going to use it and you have this great recipe in mind and then you end up not using it and then they start shriveling in the fridge?
Yeah.
So she has this great idea and she's talking about how she's going to roast the peppers in the winter and then boil the tomatoes and all of this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, that sounds really great. But we have no food in the house right now as far as like what to eat right now because we're hungry.
Right, meow.
She said, no, I'm making it right now. Right? Meow. And she did. It was extraordinary. And it's so delicious. Oh, we forgot to put it in the oven. So she
we're not going to do it yet. We'll do it during our live.
Oh,
because it'll probably only take like 30 minutes.
Aren't you all over it?
And I'm playing with my ball. So guys, I'm just gonna do
so you know.
I'm just gonna do a shout out, guys, on to our sponsor for this podcast,
yes,
who happens to not be us this time.
Mm-hmm.
We are being sponsored by a beautiful and wonderful, amazing company called Hatfile.
Oh.
That's HATPHILE. You can find them at Hatfile on Instagram. They have the most amazing hats ever, and I'm wearing one of them right now. Yeah. And it is a what do you call these hats?
It's kind of like
it's a beanie with a ball.
It's kind of like a toboggan.
It's a toboggan,
but it's got a big ball, a big fluffy soft ball.
It's like so in style right now too. But I'm playing with my ball, so that's what I'm saying.
If you're on the podcast and listening to this and not watching on YouTube, hi YouTube.
Hi. Hi guys.
You can't see that the ball that Jae is playing with is on her hat.
Yeah,
and I think it's important that we specify that.
Made by Hatfile. This hat is awesome. We just did a photo shoot today.
Yo, we met Hatfile at a San Jose cat convention. Silicats in San Jose. They have the best hats. And
so cozy and comfy and cute.
I can't even express the gratitude that we have. We got the sweetest little beanies that say Catterday on them.
Yep.
While we were
this
there.
This one says love with a paw.
Oh.
And we have other ones that say Catterday and ones that say Cat Mom.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have pet themed hats, and that's and they're comfy and they are durable and
you know what I know? Here's what's exciting though, is that now we have so many cool cat hats that I don't need to give a flip about my hair through the entire winter months.
Which is why I'm wearing the cat hat right now.
Oh, I think you should show YouTube your hair.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Bad hair day today, but...
Bad hair day, but good food day.
Good food day.
The house still smells so amazing from your inspirational, crazy cook-off this morning.
What I ended up making from the scratch that we had was this like Mexican rice soup is how it turned out to be. I didn't mean for it at first to be a Mexican rice soup.
She didn't know what she was making. She had no recipe.
I didn't. I was watching Here's the Truth. Let's drop the truth bomb real quick, because what happened was I woke up because we fell back, which means we went back an hour. So I woke up rather early. I usually wake up pretty early anyway, but I woke up really early this morning. And so I turn on the television and I see all these cooking shows. And so I watch cooking shows for about 2 hours. And then that's what was my inspiration for, let's use everything we have. We need to do it anyway. We waste too much money when we let vegetables go bad. Let's do something. I made this Mexican rice soup and then let it cook longer. So it actually stopped becoming a soup and started becoming more of the Mexican rice that I wanted it to be.
Do you know what's really cool though?
Then I put it into a 9x13 pan. And I have layered cheese on the top. So now it's a Mexican rice casserole.
Casserole. Can I say, though, really what I think is really ingenious in this whole thing? Because God knows that I once almost killed us with rolls that I tried to make back in the day. We ended up playing catch with them for many months.
Yeah, maybe
a year. Into, like, petrified bread, and we could play catch with them.
They were so hard, they would almost bounce on the ground.
I'm not good in the kitchen, but what's really exciting though is it was ingenious. You thought about all those vegetables and you roasted the peppers and the onions and the garlic and you boiled the tomatoes. Interesting, right?
I saw that on television this morning.
And then she put it all in a Cuisinart and they pureed them into this incredible sauce that she put into the rice and beans.
It was nice and spicy because
oh my god, it was so spicy.
Peppers
there was jalapenos in there. It was so delicious.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. We're probably making you hungry.
If you're
listening to this on your way to work in the morning, I hope you packed a lunch. And I hope you packed a breakfast. Or maybe just swing into Starbucks, drive through, and grab something to eat on your way. Because
Starbucks has food?
Yes.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought they just had coffee.
No, it used to be my hangover food.
What?
Yep.
I thought they had like the occasional pastry or something.
No, they will have they have this egg white and spinach wrap.
That sounds gross.
Oh, it's so good.
You weirdo.
They have like breakfast sandwiches and stuff too as well. So
I'm sorry for those of you guys that are listening on the podcast or watching on Facebook. You're not Facebook, you're YouTube. Hi. I know that I'm still technically a bad person for the fact that when
you didn't
I
know
think
that
breakfast,
Starbucks carries.
No, when I think of breakfast, I don't think of egg whites and spinach. I think of like bacon and eggs, maybe a nice sausage.
That doesn't make you a bad person.
You know?
That makes you a normal person.
I don't know.
I think I'm
these days
kind of just like not normal.
Don't let Greta Thunberg know about me.
Mushrooms, eggs. Like I don't eat breakfast anyway. We don't eat breakfast.
No, but I love breakfast food.
I do too. But you say like spinach and mushrooms or broccoli at any point in time.
Do you think people are born? Here's
the
the question. We're back in the closet, right? Where we get to talk about whatever people think, whatever we all keep in our closets.
There you go, yeah.
Right? Do you think you're born a vegetarian or become one?
Oh no, I definitely wasn't born a vegetarian. Come on. I don't think that's I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Think about your flavor buds.
I know.
Have you ever been attracted to meat?
Yes, sometimes. I still, to this day, I will be attracted to sausage.
Really? What kind of sausage?
Like
a bratwurst?
Like Italian.
Like Italian hot
spicy sausage. Yeah, like the smell of sausage is like one of my favorite. I like the smell of all meats, but none of them make me hungry to actually eat the meat except for sausage.
Okay. So you don't think people are born vegetarian. You think you become one over the course of your
figuring out what your body likes.
Evolution.
I don't know. No, I mean most people are not vegetariarians for the reason that I'm a vegetarian. Most people are vegetarians because my body doesn't really like meat. I don't like the way my body feels when I eat meat. That's why. But most people are vegetarians because of the animals. And I freaking love the animals. I think the universe just really is like gentle to me in that way. No, I don't think I was born that way. I mean, I ate meat for many, many, many years. I think it was like a staple. It had to be a staple in all of our food.
Isn't it odd that you still love
Except
the
for
way
I
that
had more
meat
beans, I think.
smells?
That's why I fart so much.
That's because you had so many beans.
I had beans growing up. It was
Yeah.
always bean. It was all. I always had those
that
bean
frozen
burritos.
burrito.
It was always bean burritos. I grew up on bean burritos, guys. It was those
Can I tell
frozen
a little
burritos. I
short
don't know
story?
if you guys know, like, or you guys might remember, like, back in the day, like, we were dirt poor growing up, and so
Like, that's no joke. I mean, some people were
No.
like, "Oh, we struggled," but
no,
y'all was like dirt poor.
we were dirt poor. Let me give you a little. Let
Her
me give you a little
clothes
story.
would match the couch cover.
No, because my mom would make them both, right? This is so funny. The cereal that we ate growing up as kids. This is so
Good
fun,
one, and it's
right?
actually delicious.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you guys should try this out. If you're in a pinch, if you don't have a lot of money, or if you just want to try something new and you like cereal, we couldn't afford like Frosted Flakes or Cheerios or anything name brand. And
Didn't Cinnamon Toast Crunch blow your mind when you actually tried it?
oh my
for
God,
the
it
first
did
time?
actually.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like college, and I was like, I got on a kick for it with it for a while. But we had my mom made this cereal where she would crush up crackers, so saltine crackers, crush it up, put some sugar on it, put some milk in it, and that would be our cereal. And we called it cracker cereal. And for so long growing up, we had no idea until like middle school or maybe high school even.
Yeah.
We had no idea that wasn't a thing. Like
It's
we
a
thought
thing.
that everybody ate cracker cereal.
It's
And
a
then we
thing.
mentioned, I think it was high school, we mentioned, my sister and I, we would mention that we had cracker cereal and it was so good, and people would be like, what the F is cracker cereal? And we would tell them what it was, and they were like, wow, you're like real poor. We're
You
like,
know
no,
what?
actually, we can
It's
afford
really
it now,
good.
but we eat it because it's really good.
It's a salty sweet thing.
Yeah.
It's like you guys were ahead of your time, and you figured out how to be economical about it.
You know what we should do? Oh my geez. Why haven't we thought about that for a business plan? We could make our own cracker cereal and sell it.
I don't know if we should go down that road.
Yeah, but let's talk about food.
Let's talk more about food. Let's talk about
Food, baby. Let's talk about food and me.
I'm still so. Oh, my little pillow just got all kinds of toast up in here. So
Yeah.
excuse me.
Okay. So, guys, welcome so much. I'm just gonna say it again. I'm sorry. We're I don't know how many minutes into this already, but welcome. Thank you for joining our podcast. Thank you for listening.
I think there's no way to tell how far we in.
We just shoot the shit. We don't have like some kind of format for our podcast. Like
We don't
a
have
lot
an
of people
agenda.
do. We don't have agenda.
But we're on the food thing. I think we should talk about. We love cats.
Yep.
This is our thing.
Yep.
Cats
are our agenda.
our passion.
Yeah, are 100%.
We
like
feel like
our
they
life,
are underserved, undervalued
100%.
companion animals.
And
That
I
they're
was-
often treated like second-class citizens.
And I would especially say that when it comes to the food world,
oh,
right?
when
we're talking about cats,
preach.
right? When we're talking about cats, it is an interesting thing. So, for those of you guys that don't know us, Adrienne and I have been in the pet health industry for the past almost 15 years.
Isn't that weird to say?
I know.
Makes me feel old.
I know.
Do you
but
feel old
I do feel old.
right now, like specifically or in general?
Yeah, like my left hip is hurting.
It's my left hip too.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't sit the way we sit, or
We should switch
Lay
sides of the
away.
bed.
we already did that.
I know, but it's getting worse, so maybe it's like
Oh
better.
no.
Anyway,
Okay.
back
I
to
was just-
we've been in the
Anyway, we've been in the pet health industry for so long, and it is so dog centric.
oh
It is all about dogs, and still to this day, it is all about dogs. There's a little bit
Let's-
of
wait,
cats
yeah, let's-
coming out as far when it comes to health world, right?
right.
And we all know that health begins in the gut. And what do we feed our gut with? Food.
Twinkies, Fritos, potato chips.
Not our cats.
No, but I mean, it's the equivalent of. Here's the thing, y'all. We've been cat parents for almost 23 years now, as
Together.
like grown up
Yeah.
people that are making our own decisions for our cats. I was the girl that ran around with a bag of Meow Mix in my trunk in case I ran into
A stray cat.
a stray cat,
Which is very sweet.
right. Well, and I will always say, no matter what food you guys feed, a fed cat is always better than a starving cat.
100%.
However, not. I didn't
Oh,
only
let's
just keep it in the trunk. I would go to Walmart. Yeah. I would go to Walmart and I would pick up a bag of litter and a bag of Meow Mix, and that was my deal.
Yeah.
And I was good for a month. I was good for a month.
Yeah.
Because I did my litter maybe once a week.
Well,
like,
think about
clean
too.
the litter once a week. What is wrong with me? And I just put down Meow Mix.
But
all day, every day.
think about that too. Like as far as how you took care of yourself at that time. Like, what did you eat? What was your stable diet? Did you have your vegetables and your, like, did you drink sodas every day? Excuse me. Did you go to McDonald's? Were you a fast food junkie? Like when you don't take care of yourself, or when you don't know that you should take care of yourself, it's easier to not understand why feeding our cats a very highly processed,
that's true,
sugary diet
I
is
did drink
bad.
Diet Coke, and I would go and get like the Dollar Junior Whopper, which sometimes
oh my god,
I still think about.
I remember going through the laundry basket to find change enough
Oh my
to
gosh.
get a Big Mac when they were on the dollar menu.
Yes. Oh yes. We were broke, foolish.
We were broke babies, right?
That's the truth. Did you hear the new thing though? You know, they have the Impossible Burger and all these like meatless burgers that are out there that taste like
I've tried one.
meat, right? The Impossible Burger. I tried it too. I tried yours.
Yeah, it was at like Burger King.
It was Burger King,
really
right?
Good.
I saw on Twitter that someone said these Impossible Burgers that taste so much, or whatever burger it is. I'm using Impossible, but whatever meatless burger it is that tastes so much like meat is actually made of people and sperm. I was like, there is something weird about how much it tastes like meat.
Oh my.
I just don't think I'm going to do it in the future. Anyway, let's get back to cat food. Right? When you think about what?
Don't read the headlines.
No, I read the article.
But yeah, no, but coming back to cats. So
I mean, they didn't say it was made of people and sperm. I'm just telling you that it was a response to the article saying that. Anyway.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Yeah, the beautiful trolls.
We digress. As oft we do.
So, but when it comes to guys, this is the biggest question we get on the daily.
What do I feed my cat?
What should I feed my cat?
Yeah.
Right? And you know, we can tell you what we feed our cats. When you ask, we can tell you.
And by that we mean what we feed our cats now.
Currently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because over the years, it has changed. It is an industry and it is a business. And when it comes to business,
the pet food market,
pet food business is business. And so
big business.
Billions of dollars.
I think last year was at 87 billion. No, that was the whole. It was like 27 or 32 billion dollars for the pet food market.
Yeah. And do you know how much of that was dogs?
I didn't see the breakdown.
I would say probably at least 85%. Because people spend more money on their dogs. People think about the health and well-being of their dogs more than they think about the health and well-being of their cats. I think the reason
was just for
is
kibble, though. So I think it's probably a little more.
But I think
cats.
I think the reason is that there's not as much information out there.
Right.
When it comes to cats. When you see a cat food commercial, it's still like, we love Frisky. Fluffy is so sweet. Fluffy eats this food.
You're scaring me.
No, but I mean, it's still just like,
I know the cool commercials.
Cute cat, feed the food. Cool. When it comes to dogs, then
food. Then it's the cool commercial.
No, when it comes to dog commercials, they actually are talking about how my dog should be eating a full diet with full-on vegetables,
right.
Even though they're lying majority of the time.
It's the whole, we love them like family.
Right.
Let's feed them like family.
Exactly.
And then they list all this rendered 4D meat that's going into
They don't say that. Bullshit. They say everything is 100% real. Right. Everything is 100%. Like, they use the words. They're allowed to use all these words that can fool the public because...
Basically, kibble is crack. I mean, what we're getting to, let's just not dance around the topic. Kibble is crap and it's crack to our cats. So when we recognize that our cats actually nutritionally require a more species appropriate diet, our cats, y'all, listen, this is science, go look it up.
Why don't you
explain
what species appropriate is? Species
appropriate. When you look at the genetic makeup between a domesticated cat and wild cats, we are talking a 97.4% similarity in everything. Everything. which is why cats are considered still more wild than dogs. Dogs have been more socially domesticated than cats. Cats just can't be. I mean, you can get a super sweet cat, but nutritionally, genetically, DNA-wise, what they require is a species-appropriate diet.
Which means
they're obligate carnivores, which means they need meat. You don't ever go to a zoo and see them putting out Meow Mix for the big lions and tigers. You never do. Although we have a friend that works in zoos and says sometimes if the budget's really tight, they will do that. But at a zoo, the obligation is to care for that animal
in the way that
there would naturally be
was required.
Right.
Is appropriated, right?
Domesticated
a species appropriate diet means a diet appropriate for the species.
Oh, right.
And so when we talk about this highly processed, dry, crunchy kibble that we feed, the majority that we did for the
12
majority,
years.
So many years, and even when we upgraded to a better kibble.
Y'all, we spent like $70 on a 4-pound bag of kibble because it was a better kibble.
Right, because we wanted to do better by our cats. But we didn't know better, right? And you can't do better if you don't know better. So there's no like judgment here. But once you do know better, once you do realize that our cats are obligate carnivores, that they do need more meat than carbs, that they have zero requirement for carbohydrates whatsoever, and yet all kibble is made up of at least 20, and that's
generous.
That's very generous.
It's usually 38 to 70% carbohydrates.
Yes. Then
here's a little tidbit though too. If you're feeding a dry food and you want to know how many carbs are in your cat's food, go look at the nutritional panel
analysis,
and you will not find it there. Because they're not required to put that.
They're not required to put it there because nobody would buy it if they knew that they were feeding their animals that many carbs.
And then we wonder why there's obesity, diabetes, kidney disease, like all of these things that are really, there's so many epidemics going on with our cats right now that we've been through that are heartbreaking. And not once is it, not once.
You'll never find it in the mainstream media. I mean, you'll never, but you don't right now.
Well, there's been a few news,
not about cats.
Right. But I will say not once in all of the struggles that we've been through with our cats have we been to the vet and they've said, hey, you know what? You should look at feeding them a moisture-rich diet, something that's species appropriate for them. Yeah. Biologically, or at least a domesticated cat requires A, B, and C. Not once. And I think that is...
even in the pet health industry.
Yes.
We didn't know that. We didn't know that until... You gonna be okay? You okay?
I sucked down a tonsil. I'm good.
Oh, no. Okay.
I'm good.
Good. So long as you sucked it down, because you're interrupting our podcast.
I know. I apologize.
So, but not once. You do hear these things. I actually heard about the BARF diet when I first started in pet.
Explain BARF diet.
Biologically appropriate raw food. Yeah. Right? BARF.
It's not your cat eating what it throws up every day, because a cat throwing up.
And I thought it was gross because they called it a BARF diet.
Right.
But I also was surrounded by a company of which nobody fed that food, and they would say, "Oh yeah, no, it's actually good to feed your pets that, but it's really not like feasible. It's not doable. It's kind of gross, and we don't do that. Everybody fed kibble, so we fed kibble. But here's the thing: we're not anti-kibble. Like, we're not...
We are pro a fed cat.
Yeah, we're pro a fed cat, but we're also pro if you have a domestic cat that is part of your family, that you want to raise, that you are raising as your child, basically, because that's what we do, right? They are our kids, right?
They're little ones.
They're our babies.
They're babies.
And then you have to think that, like, as a cat mom, a cat parent, you have to think about what do I have to do for my cat, regardless if my cat likes it or not in the beginning, right? I mean, how many parents do we know? I mean, how many kids that, you have a toddler, you take them to McDonald's, they have French fries. All they want is French fries now. But you're not going to just feed them French fries. They have to eat their vegetables.
And they're not leaving the table until they do.
Correct.
Right.
And so you you do these things as parents.
Right.
And then when you're talking about your cats, if you care for them like your children,
and if
then
you
we have to
can
think about
provide
those things.
A better diet.
You always can.
Then,
you always can. And here's why I say we're not anti-kibble, because the studies show that simply taking out 20% of that kibble, 20% of that processed food, and replacing it with 20%, which is what you have in your refrigerator already, which is what you're feeding yourself and your family, fresh, human, real food, replacing that 20% of kibble with 20% of fresh food reduces the risk of cancer and many other ailments by up to 90%, guys. That's 20% for 90% better health for your cats by simply doing a small amount.
A small amount of fresh. And I have to say, I think that for me, it's still very fresh.
What's very fresh?
The psychological disconnect that happened when we switched. Yeah, basically I realized
we haven't even
we should be feeding anything other than cat food. And cat food is what you buy in a 40-pound bag at Walmart or wherever, a big box store, right? Or if you start getting super fancy, you go get like Purina's big lineup for indoor cats, for cats with fur balls, for cats that are older, for cats that whatever. Go look at the ingredients, y'all. They're the same damn thing. It's just a different label on the bag.
And you're paying more.
I think it is shameful that I fell for it, that so many people fell for it, that
still fall for it.
Right. But why would we feed anything other than cat food? And that is cat food, right? Like there's lots of special cat foods out there now. But a species appropriate diet is raw, fresh meat with the right amount of minerals and vitamins. Gently cooked, right. And I think that it's so fresh for me still how horrifying that thought was. I literally thought that you were going to kill our cats if you started feeding. And we did not start feeding raw, species appropriate, fresh food to our cats for a year after you wanted to do it because I could not wrap my head around it. I grew up in a family where like raw chicken, like that's raw food is just raw meat is especially dangerous and gross and all of that. And I could not fathom.
And I grew up eating dirt. So
no, you grew up eating bean burritos.
No. I mean, we had mud pies. Like we would
sand and
my parents were, don't worry about bacteria. It's just really building your immune system, which turns out many years later is true.
Is true. My one regret as a cat mom is that I didn't just jump in, but logically prepare myself more for the difference it was going to make to feed our cats.
Let's talk about the difference that it made.
Biologically appropriate for them. And that's where my regret comes from, is seeing the difference, seeing that difference that it made.
Yeah, because our cats,
in his last 4 years, I mean, I think, had we started that when you first said it, would it have been 4 years? Would it have been 6 years? Or that's my one regret, is that we didn't start
sooner.
Yeah.
So when we finally made that decision that we were going to treat our pets as family and feed them as family, and figured out what it is that our cats actually need. We didn't like go and start like making a bunch of food. Now we do, but
from time
to time. But we researched companies. We found out what was a good fresh raw diet for cats.
Fully balanced.
We learned about the need of variety in our cats' food, which was actually a game changer. Like, it was so great. It is so great that we feed so many different brands of food, because if one goes under now, or one we have to stop feeding because they have, allowed money to, because we've had that several times throughout the years,
to compromise their ingredient sources or whatever.
Right.
It may be.
They compromise their ingredients for the money, and they sell out to a larger company or whatever. Then we have to stop feeding that. And then when it comes to your picky kitties, right? You got finicky cats. they will all of a sudden not eat anymore. And then what are you going to do? So now we feed variety and learning about gut biome and how important it is in order for our cats to have the strongest immune system, they have to have the strongest gut. In order for them to have a strong gut, they have to have a variety. They have to have a
diverse microbiome.
Yeah, a diverse
so
microbiome.
So do we, by the way, y'all. Yeah. It's just how.
But it's not actually too hard for us as humans, right? Because we never know who eats the exact same thing every day, all day.
It's a lot easier for us, but for our cats,
we think that
we are their only choice for what they eat. We are their only choice, and I think that was the hardest part for me, because when we tried to switch our cats from a kibble food to an all wet food, and then from wet to an all raw food, it was heartbreaking for me to see our cats still want the kibble. If they heard anything that sounded like a kibble bag, they were like, it was difficult for me.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted,
it's oftentimes more difficult for the parent than it is.
But I think that's the empowering thing that people need to understand, is that the change that you're going to see in your cat's health, whether it's in their coat, if your cat is not exhibiting signs of any kind of illness right now, you're already going to, even if they're not, if you switch to a species appropriate diet, you're going to notice such a difference in their energy levels, in their coat, in the amount that they shed, in their stools, in their litter box habits,
in their joints, in everything.
An incredible thing to see what happens when you feed your cat the way they are intended to be fed, right? It's an amazing thing. The transition period was my biggest challenge.
Yeah.
Because we teach our cats what
she was
food
like,
is.
"You gonna kill our cats?"
That is not what I said.
That is what you said.
Well, I didn't say it like that. I did.
You didn't say it in that tone.
Y'all, I told Jay, I will have nothing to do with you feeding them raw, when she fed them their first raw meal.
Pouring a little more wine.
Because I was so scared of it. And what I didn't understand really was the true genius of our cats' genetic makeup.
Digestive system.
They're intended to eat raw meat.
Yeah.
And believe me, if you have indoor-outdoor cats and they bring you little friends or a half-eaten bird, understand.
Isn't that funny? We don't actually freak out about it. Like, how many people do you know that their cats are indoor-outdoor?
Yeah.
They feed them kibble, but their cat brings them a bird or is eating a bird, and they don't freak out.
Or a mole.
And they don't freak out that they're eating a bird or they're eating a mouse or something like that.
Because we all know deep down
it's actually back there in our subconscious. Right. We know that, like, cats are made to do this, so it's not going to kill them. I don't need to worry that they just killed and ate a mouse or a bird.
I do hate that they kill. It's difficult for me to deal with
the killing part. I know.
Yeah, because I love our little neighborhood friends, our rats and our birds. That's beside the point. The bottom line is that our cats are made to eat a species appropriate diet, which consists of raw, fresh meat, minerals, vitamins, and that's what we feed our cats now. And it's been a game changer. And I feel like I got to let go of it, but my only regret is that I didn't come to terms with it earlier, just because of the impact that I saw that it made once we did switch.
Yeah. But I mean, you can't be hard on yourself either. And if you're listening, please don't be hard on yourself. If you're just now listening, this is the first time you've heard about feeding your cat a better diet, don't be hard on yourself. We didn't know. We didn't know for a long time. We cannot blame ourselves for not knowing. We cannot blame ourselves for being scared of something that we didn't know.
That's nice of you to say now, since.
Because I was drilling it down your throat. I was trying to teach you. I was like, listen, this is what I'm learning.
Drilling it down my throat.
Yeah, about like all the
stuff
benefits of raw feeding.
And it's true.
Yeah.
But bottom line is, and I know that we're kind of rambling now, but I really feel
always
like
ramble.
Once we know better, we do better. And if there's a way to, like Jay said earlier, the biggest thing is recognizing that even if we are feeding an all kibble diet, taking out 20%, you have the softest ball in all the land.
I've got soft balls.
We're talking about the ball in her hat podcast. Sorry for that.
Hat file, if you want to.
Even if we took out 20% of that kibble diet and replaced it with fresh food, and I'm talking something tangible like chicken breast, raw, boneless.
Yep.
If you are going to go raw or gently cook your food, it's important to know that you should never give your cat cooked bones.
If
raw
it's raw,
meaty bones
if
are
it's raw,
fine,
give them
are
the
fine.
whole, give them the
But
chicken.
a great little segue I thought
Wing.
was like that chicken jerky where you just take slices of the chicken breast and you put it in the oven at 250 for 3 hours and it turns into these beautiful all whole food treats for your
jerky.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Hi, baby.
Just changing
Hi.
up 20% of that all kibble diet into something fresh and whole for your cats can reduce disease markers by up to 90%.
Raw meaty bones are also so good for
their
your cats.
teeth.
So if your cat's only eating kibble, but you want to replace their treats, say, right? Temptations. Oh my God, I hate saying brand names. I'm sorry, but
you just called it out.
These things
or
that
the
are
greenies.
Yes.
They're just the dental chews.
Oh, they're just a marketing scheme, guys.
It's sad,
Don't
you guys.
fall for it. Don't let's be smart as women. Let's stand together as women. Let's stand strong. Let's be smarter. Let's work harder. Let's care more. Let's do that.
Deep.
I am. What the F? It's
dive right in.
Right? I'm saying that we can really when
empower
we know
ourselves
better, let's be empowered.
to do better when we know better.
Yeah, and that's what we really want,
baby.
Right? That's what we really want is just
especially
empower
for our cats, because there's nothing more traumatic than all of a sudden realizing that something's wrong, going to the vet, getting some sort of diagnosis that is essentially fatal, and
doing your research and finding out that it could have been the fact that we've been feeding, because it was with us.
For us,
it was with us. Like we found out.
Please understand too. I hope I'm not coming off as like Judgy Judgerson on this with the whole like raw feeding thing.
No.
It's literally that anything that we say here is because we've made a mistake in the past,
the mistakes,
or we didn't know better. And mistake is a strong word, I guess. But
we call it a mistake, but that's because we're judging ourselves.
Right.
We're not calling it a mistake to you because we also know that.
But the reason that we're passionate about these things is
better.
because we've seen the difference that a different diet makes. We've seen the difference that a different approach makes to, as far as like medicating Pooh Bear with the steroids versus Pooh Bear with a perfectly holistic and a homeopathic approach.
Yeah.
That's an incredible thing that we're so passionate about because.
And we're still learning.
Oh,
we're just learning this stuff, guys. Like,
there's a lot of stuff that we're still learning.
There's so much that we're still learning.
And that's why we get super excited to share it with you guys.
Yeah.
Diet being one of the biggest things. We started off with food today.
Yeah, diet is just so important. And here's the thing is that a lot of people tell me, I tried to give my cat raw food and they won't eat it. And here's another little statistic I'll give you, is that the research shows, so our cats are more like us. They get addicted to things like carbs, right? So if you're feeding a kibble only diet, our cats will get addicted to those carbs and they're gonna want them. And so it's hard for us as parents to take that whatever they want away. But the studies show, and let me tell you this one research project that went on in the UK, and then we'll close up here. But this one research project was a group of cats, a huge group of cats.
A clouder, if you will.
A clouder. And they fed them, they gave them food to choose for themselves what they wanted, right? They gave them 2 unbalanced and 1 balanced meal. This means that a balance means everything that your body needs to sustain and
be healthy.
Yeah, be healthy. And then, so the 2 unbalanced meals, the first one was fish, and the second one was chicken. And then the third one was orange. And if you guys know cats very well, you know that the majority of cats cannot stand citrus. But the orange flavored food was actually fully complete and balanced. And I don't mean AFCA, I just mean like complete and balanced. It was everything their bodies needed to sustain
biologically
life.
Required.
Right. And so the first meal, all the cats went to the fish first, right? Because they're little smellers, they're 200 million smell sensors that they have in their nose. Went to the fish, started eating the fish. Slowly they started going over to the chicken because they were like, this is actually not really good for me. So they started going over to the chicken. Over time, every single one of the cats in this study were eating the orange flavored food because it was what was fully balanced for them. So we always say patience and perseverance pays. Yeah. When you tell me that your cat won't eat raw food, I call bullshit. And I call bullshit not on you.
In a compassionate way.
Correct. Not on you, but I call bullshit on your cat.
Right.
Because your cat's telling you right now that they're not going to eat raw food, but don't fall
like
for it.
Like a toddler will tell you that they're not eating anything but
French fries. Correct.
Right.
But don't fall for it because they will. You just have to be patient and and persistent. And I don't mean starve your cat.
And to be realistic about this, I want you guys to understand that when we finally switched over to an all raw diet, Scotch, our oldest at the time, it took him about a week, y'all, to switch over.
And he was 18 years old.
He was 18 at the time. It took him about a week to switch over to a completely all raw diet. Pooh Bear, our big ginger boy.
He was our youngest at the time.
He was our youngest at the time before these little ones came along. He was a kibble crack addict, and I say it took 6 months. Jay says it took 4. But
I don't know. It took a while.
We've heard from other cat parents where it took them almost a year to make that transition, and that's what Jay's talking about as far as perseverance and patience.
Yeah,
because
but I don't want to scare you.
Making it available to them, our cats will choose what they need.
What is healthier for them.
Right.
They will choose what's healthier for them. And there's many tips and tricks. There's many ways that you can do that faster and not do that in a year's time.
Right.
I'm just saying, you can always reach out to us at twocrazycatladies.com, TWO crazycatladies.com. And we will help guide you through that process.
We'll be excited to help you through that process.
Yeah.
Our biggest thing is really looking at our own cats and seeing the changes that little changes we've made have made in their lives and their health and their happiness and their energy and their playfulness and their social life has been so incredible to just kind of recognize where they're at and who they are and see them on a different level and in a different way. And our passion is truly being able to bring that same kind of light and love and health and happiness to all cats everywhere.
Correct.
Because it's easy to think, oh, they're fine. Cats are fine. You just throw down a bunch of food and they're fine. They got a litter box, they're fine. It's easy to do that, and we've done that for so long, and I can't wait to meet Scotch on the other side someday.
Yeah.
And hear what he has to say about how he spent the first 12 years of his life. 15 years of his life.
And what he thought about what we fed him.
And how we were and how we treated and how we approached.
I'm sure he would say, you know what, you did your best and I love you. I'm
Hopefully,
sure he would. I'm sure he would.
But I do think that it makes a big difference to really start looking at life from their perspective, and from their needs. And I think diet is one of the fundamental things. There's so much more. But food, baby. We were talking about food.
But food. Do you have any funny stories about food before we end? Because I feel like we got real deep and it was
we
like another one of those serious ones. And we were all like playful today.
I know. We got real deep.
We get in this closet, guys, and we get deep.
I don't even know how that happens.
It's happened like the past 2 times. Like we were like, okay, we need to keep it a little bit lighter, and then we get deep.
Oh, jeez. I don't even know what happens in the closet. Maybe it's something in the fumes. You know, we don't even have any air vents in here. Maybe that's why. Maybe there's like a asphyxiation that's happening, and it's like the first 15 minutes are fine, and then all of a sudden we start losing oxygen in our brains, and all that comes out are like the deep thoughts.
That might have something to do with the wine too.
Probably. We never cheers.
Oh.
Happy podcast.
Cheers. Happy podcast. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on
episode
number 0006 of Back in the Closet with the Two Crazy Cat Ladies. If you're interested... Hey.
Yeah?
You okay?
Yeah.
Need some more oxygen?
Yeah.
Okay. If you guys are interested in purchasing one of these amazing hats, go to Instagram at Hatphile, HATPHILE. Check out their hats. They have like a plethora. We have many more that we can show you, but they have amazing hats. If you're in somewhere, it's November, guys. It's November. Y'all. It's time
hat season.
To get some warm, comfy, cozy hats that are super
shout out
freaking
to Hatphile
cute.
For this sponsorship today, because we love them so much.
Yeah.
It's not even. We want you to love them too, because you would. Because they're so comfy.
Because
and
you will. If you go, if you look. If you get them, they're super, like, not expensive, too.
Yeah,
they're durable. Affordable. They'll last for years.
Yeah.
And there's just, like, new ones coming out all the time. So.
And they're so cute. There's no way to keep up with it. So just go,
if you want,
check them out, and get, like,
if you
1 or 2, 3, 5. of your favorites,
Girl,
you'll be good to go for a
girl,
while.
go on, get her
Christmas
done.
gifts. Y'all, Christmas is around the corner. Don't freak out, but it's almost here. Christmas gifts, especially for your favorite cat moms.
Yes.
Cat parents, for real.
Maybe we should get hats for everybody in our family.
That's brilliant.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
There we
One-stop
go.
shop. One-stop
what we're
shop.
gonna
Then we
do.
don't have to worry about anything
Like
else.
zip, 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 and
Yeah,
they're so
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Can
Even
we
the
show them
kids.
your hair?
Nope.
Let's wrap her up.
Okay, guys, thanks so much for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Please subscribe to our podcast if you haven't yet. Also, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're watching us on
Or tell us to
YouTube.
shut up. That's fine
Thanks
too.
so much for watching and for sticking with us. And we hope you guys have a beautiful day.
Oh my god.
I know. I love Rachel.
I love
Okay.
Rachel.
Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.